Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10, episode 118. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Grow West, the Technology Council of West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and local partners, Sprocket Innovation in Paducah, and the Kentucky Innovation Station in Madisonville. We wrapped up a series last week and thinking about what topics that we can talk about this week or what should we be talking about in the coming weeks. And I came across a couple of things online that I think are worth sharing. And it's a series of things that we do wrong. I'm always telling you, here's the things that we need to be doing. We need to be, our password needs to look like this, and we need to be doing training, and we need to just all these different steps. But I also think it's important every now and then to look at what we're doing wrong and then try to find ways to improve those areas. So this week, I want to start looking at some of those things that are common that we are doing wrong as a group. And this week, I want to focus on one of those. And it is that we fail to plan for our digital afterlife. Now that's a that's a topic that I don't typically talk about. It's a topic that maybe not exactly the cybersecurity topic that you thought you were going to be listening to today, but it's one that's important, and it's important enough to me that I think it is worth us having a conversation about how we plan for our digital afterlife. So what does that mean? Think about your investment fund that you have, your retirement fund, whatever it might be. If you have one of those, if it's like me, I had to list the beneficiaries on that. And actually, I had to list the primary beneficiary and then the secondary beneficiaries. If you have a will, in your will, you laid out who inherits what, who gets your home, who gets your furniture, who gets your, whatever valuables that you have. Either you have done that or you know somebody that has gone through this estate planning process. A lot of people have, pre-planned their funeral, or maybe already bought their headstone for the cemetery, if they're going to be buried. There's a lot of those things that we do ahead of time, that we plan ahead for, so that when we die, that our loved ones don't have to worry with that. We do that all the time. But my question for you is simple. Have you planned for your digital afterlife? Has your digital assets been part of that planning? I don't know. It's something that we don't think about. What happens to your Facebook page when you die? Well, they actually have a process, and you can actually convert it to a memorial if you want. What about all of your digital photos? What about your online accounts? What about your PayPal account? There are so many different things that we have digitally that we need to plan for. NFTs, if you have it, cryptocurrency. There's just so many pieces. Back in the day, you would have a safe at home. You would have a printout of all of your wills, and all the important documents would be printed out. You still may print it out, but that's not the case all the time now. Now we have to think about the digital assets. And my guess, I'm just guessing here, is that you haven't thought about all of your digital assets. If, for example, if I passed away suddenly tomorrow, who would know the passwords to my accounts to get into to manage my affairs? Um, that's a question. Who would know? For you, who would know? Does anybody know your passwords? You've heard me on here say, don't tell anybody your passwords, don't tell anybody your passwords. Well, that's true, but at some point, you also have to think about what happens when you're no longer there. Is there a way for people to get into your accounts to help plan? to pay bills. Your your water bills automatically deducted out of your account. How do you log into your water bill account or your electric? There's just so many different pieces that you need to think about. That, let's say you have a PayPal account and you still have $1,500 that you haven't transferred to your bank account. Does that $1,500 just go away, or does somebody know how to get to it? There's a lot of those pieces that we need to think about. So let's go over a couple of steps that I think are good basic steps that you can think about to help in that digital afterlife planning. First of all, have an inventory of your digital assets. Create a spreadsheet of all your digital assets. Um, Again, I'm a big proponent of using password managers. LastPass, 1Password. There's a lot of different ones that you can use, but I'm a big believer in that. So maybe and that way, all of these things that I'm talking about today can be stored digitally and protected. And I think that might be a good thing. But start with an inventory of your digital assets. So, for example, if you have homeowners insurance, um, they often encourage you to create a list of those homeowner or those household goods for insurance purposes. It's the same idea. It's creating a list. Um, and then on that list, you might also include your devices, your accounts, your username, your passwords. If you have a digital copy of your will on your computer and you have a password, nobody can get into your computer, then what good is that will being on your computer? So keep an eye, keep some of those things in mind. Is having a list and letting people know where what accounts you have, and then leave some instructions. Um, you either in the spreadsheet or in a different place, but you have all these digital assets. How do I get into these? How what are the steps I need to take to get into these different digital assets? Is there two-factor authentication? Do I need your phone? Well, if I need your phone, do I have the PIN number to get on your phone? Or if you're leaving those instructions to your loved ones, make sure that you leave all those instructions in place for them. And in addition to all of these things, you probably need to grant authority to someone. So in your will, let me be clear. I'm a technologist. Um, I am a cybersecurity person. I am not a lawyer. So as I'm talking about these digital afterlife life planning items, um, some of these things probably do require legal counsel, an attorney to validate that you're granting authority, or at least um, somebody to notarize that. So don't just do these things without make sure that you get professional input on how to do these legally and with the proper authority. But you need to grant that authority to the people. So if you're creating that spreadsheet and that list for yourself, then make sure that um, your kids or whoever that you want control of your digital assets have that authority to be able to take that and make it clear finally what your wishes are, that you want your Facebook account to be handed off to so and so to let them manage that, to turn it into a memorial. You want to make sure that your PayPal account goes to so and so to control. You just identify your wishes. Do you want your social media shut down altogether, or do you want it to continue after you've died? And if so, what's the purpose of it? So just all those pieces. The more details that you can instruct, um, and the better off that your wishes will be covered after you pass away. This is not a fun topic by any stretch. It's a strange topic for 10 at 10, but it actually is one that might be the most important one that you listen to this year. Um, yes, we need to have strong passwords, and all these other cybersecurity things I talk about are true. But what is scary is that there's so many of us that haven't thought about all of our digital assets. And day in and day out, we are starting to have more and more of those digital assets that we need to plan for and make sure that we are providing proper instructions to those people after we pass away so that they can control and do the things that we need to do or we want them to do for us on our behalf. I hope you found it interesting. I appreciate you joining today. If you have questions, send them in. You can still put them in the chat even after this ends, and I'll try to answer those on a future 10 at 10. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you.